Nostalgia Hoops, Nostalgia Sports and Culture. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Uh, I know coming into the season, a lot of people was very hype on Tennessee when it was talked about, and I'm watching different channels and I'm watching different podcasts. Everybody was very sure that Tennessee was the threat for South Carolina. And I'm saying, yeah, they lost to Ohio State. Yeah, they lost to Indiana. But don't panic. This is a very talented team. We understand the transfer situation, so that has to mesh. We understand the strength of schedule. Unlike a LSU, which we're going to get into, LSU has a super weak schedule, and Tennessee has a super hard schedule. I think it needs to be some balance in between that, because the danger in a super hard schedule is if it starts out slow like this, you don't want to get your team defeated and you don't want to mess up the chemistry. It's sometimes like with boxing. You don't just throw your gold medal prospect in with champions. You give them guys that are like 1-5 or having their debut 2 or 2-22 just to start building that confidence. Because if you go get knocked, say you go get in a tough fight, then you go get knocked out, then you go get in you get in stuff like that mentally, that can start draining you and making you question yourself. And that's the only thing that I wonder with Tennessee. I think they have the talent, they have the size, they have the versatility, they have the shooting. I think everything that you need to be a champion, they have. Athleticism. I love everything about this team. Tough coach. But the only thing that was lacking in both of these games is like effort. If they're not going to hustle, get them 50-50 plays, if they're not going to close out properly on the three or just shots, period, with Tamari Key, she's going to have to get better at moving her feet on the closeouts. Rakia Jackson in the Indiana game and Ohio State, go for the block. Don't just put your hands up. You got to go for that block. Get aggressive. Stop trying to go out there and be cute and play hard. That's why I like Anisha Morrow, because she's just going out there playing, leaving it all. You can't go out there trying to look, man. Go out there and play. Leave it all out there, not just on the offensive end, on them hustle plays where you got to get dirty sometimes, where you got to get ugly sometimes. Go out there and get ugly. And that's what I would push for this new generation of player, because the new generation of player, they want to look good for TV. But if you get too caught up in that, then you're going to miss the opportunity to do something great. So for Tennessee, man, it's just really coming together, locking in, and really just giving that effort. The second half of the Indiana game, it was a lot of fight. Some of that came from the bench. And Indiana just kept pushing right back. They were well poised in the storm. And coming down, they was hitting some tough shots, some wide open, some with just knowing how to move, and Tennessee not moving their feet properly. And they wasn't scared to go in there with the bigs and, make tough shots at the rim too. So it was just a nice, well-balanced attack by Indiana, and Ohio State just put that pressure, turned them over, 10 steals, and I think they had like 20-something, some crazy with the turnovers. You can't let a team speed you up like that. Like, slow down, don't rush, even when they're coming trappy. Somebody's wide open, pass, and don't just come down and take the shot because it's open. They want to speed you up, so slow the game down. Swing offense, move the ball around, waste some clock like Bo Ryan, Wisconsin, men's team would do. Waste the clock and just try to get control of the pace. And sometimes I would put Rakia at the 5. When it starts getting too fast and you see Key can't move her feet like that, I think it's up to the coach to go to a small ball lineup so that you have more speed on the floor, and then everything is stretched out. So it gives you that extra layer of protection to where she's not becoming a liability, especially if you're not attacking inside. Because once you stop doing that, she's a liability to a certain extent against some teams on defense because she can't move her feet. So if she's guarding somebody that can shoot, that's going to be tough for her. And then on offense, if she's not getting the ball in the paint, then it's just clogging up the floor. So sometimes you just got to open it up and go for a more faster, agile team and see how those looks help your offense. So, but I want to play this clip so you can see the mind state of the coach. And I like this mind state because she really wants the team to go through that fire early. And I think going through that fire early can help you later on and will help this team in the tournament.
Well, I'll tell you what, I just don't know. I still think, I don't know how I'll think in January, right, or February. I still think that the best thing for this team is to play teams that are going to punch them in the mouth. I really think that's the best thing for us. I would rather win, but I don't want any a false idea of who we are. I know exactly who we are, and I know exactly where we need to go. And it's on us. We'll get them there.
And I like that attitude, but like I said, I agree to a certain extent. I just think it needs to be a balance. I don't think it need to be this many ranked teams, but I don't agree with LSU's approach either. I understand they have transfers and new players, but I think waiting till January for a ranked team that's a little bit weak to me. But this is the overall stat line. Final score 79-67. Let's see. 17 by Rakia, 6 of 14, 2 of 3. Powell, 16. Key, 14. Let's see how many rebounds. 10 rebounds. Powell got 10 rebounds. Only 3 rebounds. Come on. You're big. You can't be that big and only have 3 rebounds. I think 6 for Rakia is low. You need to at least be in that 8 range, and Key definitely need to be 11, 12. 33 to 35 on the rebounds. I don't think the turnovers was too bad this game. 10 for Oklahoma, 15 for Tennessee. But let's go to the schedule because this is what I want to point out. Let's go to Tennessee. So Tennessee starts out Ohio State playing 14, then playing number 12. It's unfair to drop like that for playing a ranked team. I don't think you should drop that far because sometime the ranking committee may have had it wrong, and maybe this was the 14 team and this was the 15. But I just don't think you should drop that many spaces just for losing to another ranked team that's within the top 15. Maybe you drop to number 7 or 8, but with that type of talent, I just don't think. I think you can drop in wins. Like I thought Iowa should have dropped for that overtime game against Drake, like we seen in boxing. I don't know if any of you watch boxing. Lomachenko dropped out the ESPN pound for pound after fighting his last fight against a young guy. I forgot his name, but he dropped out the pound for pound because it was a tough fight, and it was the fighter's first time fighting a 12-round fight. And with all his experience, a lot of people thought it would be easy work. Same thing with Iowa. If you're the number 14, You got Caitlin Clark in your team with Cesano. You supposed to make easy work of a team like Drake, but that didn't happen. So I don't think taking risk, because this would defer teams from taking risks. And this is pleasing for the fan to see the top teams play each other. You don't always want to watch. You might want to watch your favorite team, but it's like, man, these blowouts it's hard to watch at times. But when you can get a good game with some of the top players in the country consistently, it's just overall better for the sport. So to the committee, don't just be so quick to drop a team for losing to a ranked team, because that's good work. Sometimes it's just going to happen like that if you don't have everything clicking or something off, or if everything is not totally meshed at that point. But it's cool that you would still come out there and take these risks early, because everybody's not giving us these type of games, and I respect them and their coach for taking that type of risk. So they start out with Ohio State, then they go Indiana. They take an easy work game, then they go Indiana. Now they got Rutgers, Colorado, East Kentucky. So pretty cool for the rest of November. Then they go December, started right off with some smoke against Virginia Tech. They 3-0 right now. Then you go Chattanooga, Wright State, UCF. Then you go from that to the number 2 team in the nation, this 4-0. Then you go Wofford, Tennessee. So in the first month, so what is it? 1, 2. So you got 2 ranked teams in November, 2 ranked teams in December, and then January you got LSU and UConn. 2 ranked teams in January. And then you get the number 1 team in the nation. You're only going to go 1 for February in a shorter month. And it's just crazy. That's a tough schedule, but I respect it. As opposed to a team like LSU who ducking all smoke. Y'all cannot do this next year with that recruiting class. Please do not let LSU duck the smoke next year. They should have had Maryland on this schedule. There's no way you get Angel Reese. It's like, what are y'all doing? Y'all missing opportunities. It would have been like Shaq leaving the Lakers and not playing Kobe. Like, why wouldn't you have that? The people want to see it. We want the questions at the end of the day. Why did you leave Maryland? That would have been a great press conference. Just seeing the game, her emotion going back. Like, we needed that game, and it's a letdown that LSU just ducked all type of smoke for the first 2 months. So it's no ranked teams, and they just putting up the big numbers, beating up on lesser talent, and that's weak. That's weak. December, no ranked teams. Then we get to all the way into January, and it's the end of January. It's the 30th, so it's pretty much February. So they pretty much going almost 4 months without playing a ranked team. And this is sad. This is sad right here. So their rating is gonna be inflated. And let's see who they play in February. And then they get a South Carolina. And they only got 2 ranked teams on the whole schedule, as opposed to Tennessee taking risks and playing 2 ranked teams each month outside of the last month, and they still got the South Carolina smoke too. So shout out to Tennessee, man. Don't give up on Tennessee. Let's go to stats real quick. See how we on LSU. Let's go to scores. Let's go to January. Click Tennessee. Stats. So we got Rickea Jackson putting up 16 and 7. Powell putting up 13 and 5. Key 11 and 5. So it's still solid, man. But Walker, I like a lot of stuff I've seen from her. Don't give up on LSU. Don't give up on LSU. It's a lot left. I think they understand what they have to do. I think going through this it's just gonna help make them a better team. They're gonna be used to the adversity, whereas a team like LSU, who's only gonna face it twice by the time they get to the tournament, I mean, it could work because you just giving them time to gel and really learn each other, but it also could not work because you're not consistently under that pressure. So time will tell, but and I don't agree with either way of these schedules. I think it should be something a little bit more in the middle between the two. But if I had to choose it would be Tennessee's what approach to the schedule, because it's better just to see who you are and what you really need to work on. It'd be the same thing like on 2K. If you only playing it easy, right, you're not gonna really know how good you are or what you really need to work on because you playing against lesser talent. Overall, there might be 60, 75, and you might be a 90 or 92 or something high. So it doesn't really give you a true gauge of your team and what you need to do to be at a championship level. So, and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Tennessee's main goal is to win a championship and really be that one that can upset South Carolina. And you don't upset South Carolina by taking an easy schedule. So we seeing who's serious about winning the championship and who's not serious. And that starts with taking the hard work. But now you got to really give yourself the best chance to win, because we really don't know how you look against the hard work because the effort hasn't been there. So it's hard to really judge this team until we see them lose, giving full effort for the full game. So we'll see. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm out.